to introduce you to two of my favorite women, my favorite ladies in the world. Okay? Yeah. First of all, I want to introduce you to my wife who makes everything possible. Okay?
Ain't no mercy. Ain't no mercy.
Okay? This girl right here is so fantastic, man. We're on the same page. 95% of the time, we're on the same page, working it out.
The other 5, he's always wrong, and I just got to correct him, and then we're good again.
Yeah, she stole that line from me. So, I would not be where I'm at without Elena. She's a big dreamer. We got to figure out how to get your partner on the same page. The people that you're around on the same page, not yet. Okay? We got to figure out how to get this on the same page so that you guys can start multiplying. How many of you believe that I'm better with her than I am without her? 100. Hey, the whole package looks better. It just looks better, okay? Now, I want to introduce you to somebody else, too, that's on our team. Come on up here, champion, okay? When I got this one, I got this one, okay? This might end up being the super powerhouse of the powerhouses, okay?
Somebody really wise once told me not even your mom and dad know your full potential.
That's right. Not even your mom and dad. Sabrina Francesca Cardone, okay, 13. She came to me the other night and she says, Papa, you need to find some of your friends. You need to find, can I tell them this? Yeah, go for it. I need you to get your friends that have kids my age that aren't just dummies. Kids that are interested in like doing something in life, not just playing with toys and looking at Instagram and their phones. I want to meet, how many of you got kids that are 13, 14, 15, 18, right? That are ethical? Because I will freaking knock their head off, okay, if they're not, okay? So she wants friends like that. But she doesn't, she's around adults. She's around hustlers a lot. So she wants to be around other kids that are hustlers. So these guys, I would not have these guys if it were not for this guy. We're a better group together, these girls. My Scarlett, my other one's not here right now, but I wanted to introduce you guys to Elena just to talk about where we were before I met you, what was going on with the life improvement, and I wanted to introduce everybody to you, okay? Okay, go get them, Mama. Okay.
Hello, everybody. So I'm Elena Cardone, Grant's wife. For any of you that don't know who we are or who I am, we've been together for 20 years, married for 18 years, and pre-social media, we were not always like this. We were not always successful. There was a time, especially in 2008, where the economy collapsed and we were under lawsuits and other horrible things that were occurring at the time that made us on the verge of losing it all. And for the first 4 years, he wanted me to talk about how it was before, pre-life, meaning how it is today. We were married in 2004. And for the first 4 years of our marriage, I had been operating as, it was just ingrained in my system. I was always taught to be this strong, powerful, independent woman, never depend on anyone for anything, especially a man, but anyone. I couldn't depend on anyone. So at 30 years old, I finally married Grant because I always thought I was going to be this independent, powerful woman by myself, I was happy to just be that way for the rest of my life. But at 30 years old, Grant finally convinced me and I surrendered. But for the first 4 years, I was still operating as this strong, powerful, independent woman. And so I realized the first 4 years of our marriage, we weren't really making a whole lot of headway. We weren't making a whole lot of gains together because we were kind of playing a small game, which was vying for power in the relationship. I get to do this, you're not going to boss me. And so I was doing my thing, he was doing his thing. And so we were winning out here and coming home and kind of fighting or arguing, and it was distracting us, and we couldn't focus on a heightened level of success, or we couldn't focus on couples goals or where we were at. I didn't know any of that, actually. But when 2008 collapsed, and I was pregnant with Sabrina in 2008, and my career as I knew it, I was an actress in Hollywood, that was pretty much over. So I really looked at it at the time, and I made a decision. Grant always says I'm the visionary. I have this big dream, I can just see things, right? And so at that time, I made a decision, contrary to my core beliefs at the time. I made a decision to go all in, ironically on a man, but who was also my husband, the one I trust. And I said, hey, if I go all in on this guy, I risked, by the way, all women out there hating me for this because I was leaving my career to go support a man. But in the circumstances that I was in, I was like, well, I've been married to the guy 4 years. He's never let me down. I love him. I trust him. I'm going all in. And I told Grant at the time, I said, you know what? I visualized this whole empire thing, and what would that look like if we actually could come together and figure out who does what in the relationship based on our strengths and weaknesses and knowing our roles. So I get to be the boss of all these departments. You get to be all the boss of these departments in order to reach a heightened level of success. So we put, it wasn't just my goals and his goals, but what were our goals as a couple, and how do we work in a coordinated way together to hit it together. So ironically, that made us fortify as individuals, because my enemy was no longer my husband. The enemy became all of the opposition to all the people that said that we couldn't make it, or that we never would, or that I can't, or that my husband was going to leave me eventually. All the people out there that want to see marriages fail, especially mine, or want to see us go broke. Those are all of our enemies now. You see, I have enemies out there, which forced Grant and I over the years to fortify, have each other's back, to go actually combat the other enemy, those enemies. So it actually worked. We spent the last 10 years working together side by side, having each other's back, working towards each other. And now people ask me all the time, they say, what is the main key elements that have gotten y'all to the success that y'all have today? And so after I explain what I just told you, we found our purpose, we figured out our roles, we stayed out of each other's business. He gets to be the boss of his areas, and I stand by his decisions. I get to be the boss in these areas, and he stands by my decisions, whether they're contrary to his opinion or advice or not, and it works. So aside from that, the two other things that really helped us was we did two things. One is we started getting the right information. You see, I had been operating, and he had been operating with false ideas, false information. You hear the common expression, knowledge is power, right? So what if you have the wrong information? So I looked up the definition of the word information, and the origin, the definition means in formation, like something that's in a formation, right? The derivation or the origin of the word comes from formation of the mind. So the mind is formed with the right information. So if you have the wrong information, wouldn't it conclude that you have a deformation of the mind? So all of these ideas that we had and I had been a deformation of my mind, which was preventing me from accessing the truth and preventing me from having what? Knowledge is power, preventing me from having power. So I hear Grant say this all of the time. What are you willing to give up in order to get where you want to go? What are you willing to give up in order to get where you want to go? So I had to give up old ideas that no longer served me in order to get where I wanted to be. I had to give up an idea that I had to be the strong, independent, powerful woman and never depend on a man. Find one person in the history of the world that has ever built an empire alone. You can't find it. It takes a team, and the team starts, in my case, your case, if you're with a partner, in the bedroom, right? And then it expands outward from there. You need a team. You need people. We have Sherry, we have Jerry, we have Brandon. We have a whole 10X community, people on the same mission to grow and expand. You can't do it alone. You can only go so high on your own. The purpose of a partner is to reach a heightened level of success. So I'm here to help Grant reach his goals and his dreams. That's what love is, right? And he's there to help me achieve my goals and my dreams. That's the biggest act of love you can give somebody. But what are you willing to give up? What old ideas, what concepts are you willing to let go of in order to have something that you want in the future? Which brings me to the second piece. So we're willing, Grant and I have been willing to spend hundreds, if not thousands of hours investing in ourselves in self-advancement, self-enhancement, self-improvement. We've taken numerous courses educating ourselves, how to communicate, have a communication course, finance courses, overcoming ups and downs in life. I mean, we've done course after course after course. We have invested in ourselves to get rid of our deformation of our minds in order to get the correct information, which we now apply to our life, which has given us the power to be now in power and to be a power couple. So the second part of that is what we did and what I did back in 2008, which made it okay and safe for me to make that decision to cash in and go all in on a man and support him, support, show active interest in the success of, is I visualize the future. What are you willing to give up in order to get where you want to be? Giving up old ideas and old concepts. So I had always been living in my future and my present, present from the past. My whole entire life, everything that I did in present time was based on something from the past. I lived from the past. This idea, this program's not going to work because it didn't work in the past. Everything came out of the past. Oh, I'm not going to be successful because I wasn't successful in the past. I made a decision in 2008. I was no longer living from the present, from the past. I was willing to give up that concept. So what I did is I said, who am I in the future? What does my life look like in the future? How strong is future Elena? How confident is future Elena? How powerful are Grant and I as a couple? What does our business look like? What does our finances look like? Who do our friends look like? I visualized the whole thing, and yes, it did include a private plane, which, at the time, Grant thought was ridiculous. But I decided I am going for this future picture. And I decided from that day, every single action I did in the present was going to be a reverse engineered action from the future. How do I become that confident girl? How do I become that leader? How do I become strong enough? Talking about another definition of the word support means to be strong enough to bear the weight of. So like a support beam, right? I would have to be strong enough to bear the weight of Grant Cardone and everything that comes along with that universe. I was not strong back then in 2008. But I saw my future self and I said, who do I need to do and what actions do I need to take in order to become strong enough to be the woman strong enough? Who's the strong one? If the beam has to support the Grant in that world, who's the strong one? That's right. I'm glad y'all are smart enough to put two and two together. So who do I have to be? Reverse engineer from the future and take actions, not just think and imagine it and it's going to appear. I don't get to have that without doing the actions. I needed to do actions. I needed to self-enhance. I needed to prove. I needed to do hours and hours of work upon myself in order to become who we were in the future. So I took every single action into present time, wearing the hat of who do I need to be, And what actions do I need to do in order to have this picture that I envisioned? And so that is the biggest secret. After everything else I've already told you about the purpose and the coordinating, and we know our roles, and now we're dedicated. We've dedicated our lives to get the right information. The formation of my mind is my most powerful resource. You know, no one can take that away from me. People ask us all the time, what would you do if you lost all your money? They love that question. I'm like, well, I tell you this, it sure as hell won't take us as long to get there the second time as it did the first time. Why? Because you can't take away our integrity. You can't take away my knowledge, my courage, my everything that I've learned. You can't take that away from me. That's in me. You can take away things. You can take away money. I know how to get it all back. I know how to create. I know how to live from my future self into now, not from the past. I'm not connected. I only use my past. I only use my past circumstances as a means to put a policy into the future to prevent some bad thing happening to me that had already happened that I missed. And I only use the past as a tool to help me in the future. So those are the things that we do and did and continue to do to go on the path of our future. So Grant and I are just beginning, just beginning. I feel like we've just started. And in 2008, we made a pledge to each other. Remember, you couldn't see this because social media was not there. But there was no planes. There was no designer pants or red bottom shoes, I promise you. There was no going on vacations for 10 years. We didn't go out to dinners. We didn't do a lavish lifestyle. We were very disciplined. All of our earned income went to two things. It went to self-enhancement, improving, learning, investing in ourselves, or back into the business. That's it. That's the only thing earned income did, and we were in sacrifice phase for 10 years while I was living from my future into my future. And so the successful actions and where we want to go in the future, it includes you. We made this vow, that's what I was going to say. We made this vow that in 2008, if two little kids from Louisiana, I haven't been to college. I always thought I was dumb in school. Like, I'm not supposed to be here. I mean, Grant he can hardly pronounce words. He says product instead of product. He calls a roof a roof. Like, the guy can hardly speak, yet he gets paid to speak all around the world. Like, we're not supposed to be here. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not supposed to be here. We're just two little people from Louisiana. Yet we're here because we got around the right information. We were willing to get rid of old ideas and old concepts. And now we're looking to create a whole entire future that includes you. It includes all the other little me's like me and Grant. It includes you. We want to make a difference in the world. We want to make an impact. We don't think people need to suffer, We just think if you have the right information, you can make a difference not only in your life, but your partner's life and your children's life and your community's life. And we can go and spread that. It's not going to be the politicians that are going to save this planet. It's you, and it's me, and it's us. So I'm inviting you all to partake in what we're offering here and to tell you from my heart, thank you so much for being a part of our community. Thank you for taking responsibility for yourselves, for your communities, for investing in yourselves. Like, the world needs more people to take responsibility. I don't take it lightly that you're here today. And if there's anything that Grant and I can do to help you, we are here. We made that vow to each other in 2008 that if we were ever to make it, we would never close the windows. We'd never close the curtains like wealthy people do. And now I understand why. but we're strong enough to handle it all. We have nothing to hide, and we keep the curtains open, because if there's anything that you can learn from us, whether it was from all of our successful actions or learn from our past mistakes, anything that we can do to help fast track your way to success so it doesn't have to take you the 12 years that it took us, we are here to help you. We made that vow to ourselves and to help all the other people that were willing to go out there and have the audacity to think big, to be big, to live up to your potential, to make a difference on this planet for the better. We are here for you to help you and fast track your success. And I just want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to see all your beautiful faces. And thank you for letting me say hello today. And to the very special audience here today, thank you so very much. Okay, everybody, see you next time. Grant Cardone is back.
Thank you.